Hey everybody, it's your girl Peachama, and welcome to the Peachama Live Show. Today we review Star Wars: The Acolyte. It's here, and Drive Away Dolls for Pride. Let's take a look. Hey everybody, it's Peachama, and I couldn't do it without my buds here. These two guys. David, say hey to the people.
Hey, everybody. Great to be with you tonight. I haven't been this excited since I watched Anakin blow up the Death Star. We're ready to go.
Boy. And this guy, the guru of everything Marvel. Say hey
everybody.
To the people.
We got a lot of great stuff to talk about, and there's some good stuff. So let's do this.
All right. First up, the Acolyte.
Where's your Jedi?
The Jedi live in a dream. A dream they believe everyone shares.
You lost your entire family. Your mothers, your sister, your village all died in the fire before Master Soul brought you into the Jedi.
This is about power and who is allowed to use it.
Oh boy, I know we'll start with our guru of all things Star Wars. David, what'd you think?
Well, I have to say, you take a little bit of a few good movies and you give us the most Disney Star Wars of up to this point. So in this 2 episodes of Tales of the Golden Gun, we're seeing the new show. It's kind of a mix of Parent Trap meets Kill Bill with just a little flavoring, a teaser of The Matrix, thrown into the world of Star Wars. I am watching it. I'm enjoying it. I've watched it 6 times.
Oh my gosh.
I have really tried to watch, and I keep asking myself, would I be watching this if it wasn't Star Wars? Would I be as critical of it if it wasn't Star Wars? I don't know that I'd be watching it, and I probably wouldn't be as critical. That said, positives. I like the idea that we're in a different part of the Star Wars spectrum here, different timeline. So we've got no preconceived notions for the most part about what we're seeing. It's not, we can't get into characters. I'm intrigued by the protagonist-antagonist in the story. I think Mana Stenberg is doing a nice job overall. I find most of the Jedi to be, I don't know if we understand how to write and create good Jedi in these stories. I find them like a little stoic, a little like too much like Mr. Spock, a little, are they samurai? Are they FBI? Few issues there that was a little concerning. That said, let's keep going with it. Let's see what happens. The protagonist-antagonist is the best part of it. But I think there's some really talented actors that aren't being, in the first 2 episodes anyway, allowed to really shine because of certainly not the budget. Budget's good. I think some of the writing is a little suspect at this point, and fires can't stay that fiery in space.
Thank you. Finally. So
it does get one gun for this for the first 2 episodes.
Go. I'm not sold yet. It is going to be a darker tale, and I don't know how I feel about that. So far, the first 7-10 minutes, and the character I really expected to last didn't, and that really kind of put a nasty taste in my mouth for it. And I'm not quite clear because it's kind of a couple of different rationales for May and Osha and what happened to them and why May is going after the Jedi. I still don't understand all the way. And I watched it now. I've watched it twice, fell asleep on it once.
Ooh.
That's not a good sign for me. But I know sometimes with Star Wars TV shows, they start kind of slow and then they build and build and build, and you're like, oh my God, this is awesome. So I'm waiting for that moment of to hook me right in. So far, I'm kind of have my arms crossed and going, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna watch regardless. So
Oh, yeah. I'm contractually obligated by the NIL deal with Pajama Life, so I'm here.
Yeah, so I'm cautiously optimistic, but so far, it's like finding cilantro in your taco. It's like okay. Patrick.
Well, I love cilantro on my taco. First off, how dare you malign the most maligned herb in my garden? Let's talk about some things, because first off, I think you mentioned it, Pam. What was Disney thinking when they made all their promotional stuff and it's like showing Carrie-Anne Moss?
Thank you.
Everything,
she was the main one out there touring and on the TV shows.
Yeah, and I'm like, wait,
that hurt my feelings.
Did I miss an episode? Are they going to do a lot of flashbacks maybe with her? And
I think we will. But it does have a what was the movie with Anthony Hopkins? The slasher movie. Janet Leigh got killed early. No. Janet Leigh got killed early. Psycho. Yeah. So there's a little bit of a little flavoring of Psycho mixed in.
Well, yeah, it was just. I mean, I kind of questioned the wisdom of that
because
that's what I felt like a little bit. I'm like, well, you know what? Maybe. I mean, it's only two episodes in. I'm willing to withhold any judgment because it does have a very good. I want to say it's kind of an Andor feel, just the overall feel of it, just kind of that out on the rims, out on dealing, and it almost feels like an episode of Columbo or something, where now we've got Master Saul going out trying to sleuth out what happened and who's doing what and where things are going. It feels like a detective mystery in the Outer Rim, and I'm really down for that. This is a new look for Star Wars. It's not just Jedi-ing each other, and Sith in each other or whatever. I mean, this is some good stuff. I mean, I'm really interested to see where they're going. Like I said, it is a different, and you both have said this is a different look for what Star Wars does.
Yeah.
We're not just, the Skywalkers are not front and center of everything, and the movers and shakers and the reason why. This is a really interesting look. I mean, you get to see some stuff that happened before, and you get to meet some new characters, develop some new things. I want to say he was the Jedi, but not he hadn't taken the trials yet. That was Jason from The Good Place, and it took me a few minutes.
Manny Jacinto.
And I was like, oh my God, the dumbest guy in the whole thing.
He's
and he was
been in a couple of things lately, so he's coming up.
Super, super solid. And I was like, oh my God. And it's a credit to him that I didn't recognize him, because he did such a great job at embodying Jason in that show, which I loved.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, I'm watching this, I'm like, he looks familiar. Who the heck is that? And I had to actually IMDb him to check it and go, oh, that's who it was. Huh, I know now.
And the Master Saul is the main character from Squid Games, which will be out in December. Squid Games 2 will be out in December. And so I loved him in that. So
Master Saul is I am there for that, because he's the most interesting character so far by a lot. I mean, he's given out that Jedi samurai Kurosawa type of feel to him, that whole I'm the lone samurai, I have to go get save the village, he gives off that aura, and man, I'm digging it. And
but do you think it's kind of David, you too, to me it felt kind of depressed. I don't know. Everybody seemed kind of depressed, and you would think with the Jedi and the Council in control and the Republic's doing well, that it would have more of a lightness to it.
It is the High Republic. It's supposed to be the High Republic era.
Everything's chill.
It was just kind of like, come on, I need some happy something. But
I thought it was very. That's why I said I don't think, from my view, I didn't feel like they knew really what to do with the Jedi. I didn't see a lot of personality in them.
But to me, with the Jedi, isn't it practiced or taught to kind of suppress your emotions? You don't want highs and lows. You want to kind of be even. So it kind of like, you don't see excited Jedi, right? You just see them, with an even kind of disposition and keel. So
Zen Buddhist monks is what they are. They're supposed to be Zen Buddhist monks, where and I mean, even in the lack of attachment to material, lack of attachment to the world, the things that you see in the actual canon 6+3 movies, that that's what they're teaching. They're teaching you to be Zen Buddhist monks, live in the moment. I mean, and so for them to be, there should be happiness and stuff and sadness, but it's transitory, and you're supposed to just kind of move on past it and not dwell on it. So it tracks. I mean, they don't have a lot of high passion stuff going on as Jedi at that particular point in their lives.
Yeah, and so then you get all that emotion then from the Sith, and I don't like that. So I want to see pleasure and joy and happiness, break a smile or something. See the kids running around, pew pew pew.
I think it's time for more humanity. One of the things, Yoda was far more serious, but I look at Alec Guinness's portrayal of Obi-Wan, and he was a bit of a smartass, for lack of a better term. Who's the fool? The fool, or the fool who follows him? Or, you've never heard of the Millennium Falcon? Should I? I mean, just hello there. There was just this sense of humanity. Now, the wonderful actor from the Squid Games, I understand he learned English just for this role. So he was speaking in not only a second language, but a new second language. I think for him, there could be some, with the tone and things. So that might be missing. And maybe they're going for what you're saying, Patrick. I just thought that for me, I think there should be a little more humanity within the Jedi than what we're seeing. But that's just me and my take. Yeah. I'm curious to see what, where we go with this but the Jedi are really bad detectives. Girls on a ship, not on that planet. Can they look at some log books? How did she get from here to there? And if she has an alibi, a whole ship, even if they're Nemodians, if she's got a whole crew of people, you can't just go and arrest them because of one person picking out the young black woman and saying she did it and going to go arrest her.
Don't get me started.
That was kind of a bad look. I'm just saying.
With all this is the woke show. I mean, that's the criticism and the backlash that you hear about it. Well, and there's that's an interesting little trope out there.
I was like, even in space, we get profiled. So, I mean, it was her twin sister. So
twin sister, yes.
But still,
that could be excused. I can let that one go. But I was like, So
get another star system. I'd like to think that but nonetheless, it was a.
Now, one other note about the actors, the Charlie Barnett who played Yord is also, David, you'll like this, a feature player in Hallmark movies. So you can look at my Hallmark movie review and catch one with Charlie Barnett, who got totally body transformed for this role, because he is not like that in the Hallmark movies, let me tell you.
Well, and I was quoting Charlie in my opening comment. I don't know if you all had heard his his interviews on the press junket, but he really quickly talked about how Anakin blew up the Death Star, and maybe the good guys aren't so good, seeing how there were millions of people on the Death Star that might have been okay. A little bit of Clerks there he was channeling. I don't know that he knew it, but he said the Anakin. So that was a quote from our esteemed Yord.
Yeah. Now, okay, let me go back, since we're just going to talk a lot about Acolyte. Was his character one of the characters in Tales of the Jedi? Because he looked like the young man in the episode that had the young black Jedi with the master fighting the old man who was actually a Sith.
No.
Is that the same character?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Because he looked exactly like that character drawing, the animation. So I thought, if it is, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool that they would give a live action version of the guy in the animation. If it's not, they still did a good job. And congratulations to Charlie Burnett for joining the Star Wars universe. We need some young black men in the Star Wars universe.
Watch the movies, though, dude. Watch the movies before you start saying that Anakin blew up the Death Star.
I know.
If you're going to talk it, you don't have to know it if you're to act in it. But if you're going to talk about it, know the movies at least. We're not even getting into
maybe he was just so excited he misspoke. Come on, give him a break.
Yeah, we all do that. Give a brother a break.
No breaks. No breaks.
He better be careful, because the Star Wars fans are encyclopedic knowledge of every word, period, comma, and scene.
My wife stopped it. Yes, yeah. Meg said, "What? That doesn't make sense." Even her, who doesn't watch these movies and who looks around and Star Wars is the bane of her existence, says, "That's not right." And I'm like, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure he's heard about that.
God bless him.
All right. Okay. Next up is our Pride celebration movie. See, Pride. We got Pride here on Pajama Life, and it's time to take a look at the Drive-Away Dolls.
I saw this movie once where they come across this box and they open the box.
The case.
And it was like really, really bad.
We're here for the car.
Wait a minute. You call with a drop-off in Tallahassee, and then these broads come in and say they're ready to go to Tallahassee. They drive the car instead of you. Is that bad?
Bad if they find the goods.
I bet it's locked.
Did the two creeps find you?
They know we have their stuff. Maybe we sell it back. Here's what we do. Shake them down.
That is about the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And I'm a cop.
Who are you?
Democrats.
Wow, you've had a full day.
All right, let's start with Patrick. Drive-Away Dolls.
Well, I love this. This is awesome. Okay, first off, I love the Coen Brothers movies. Now, this is one of those Coen movies. It was just a single one who did this one.
Yeah, and Ethan.
Yeah, and and this is kind of a little bit like the one we just watched, in the fact that they show a lot of stars in the trailer that have very small parts. Mm-hmm. Pedro Pascal had maybe 5 lines, but he made.
Which one was Pedro Pascal?
At the very beginning, he's the head.
Oh, okay.
You didn't watch it very well, apparently. That was the main thing right at the very beginning, one of the big things. And then Matt Damon, who had a pretty small part too, and you see him in there. But, okay, the Coen Brother movies do certain things that I do love. And this is a Coen Brother singular movie. And the dialogue was snappy, fast. Margaret Qualley was delightful. Okay, now let's just talk about the shortcomings. The shortcomings in this movie were that the plot was pretty boilerplate. You've seen it in other movies. maybe with different flourishes in points, but overall, just the buddy comedy, got something we didn't know we had. Oh my gosh, what are we going to do with it? Type of thing. That's been done to death. Get it. But their writing made that a lot of fun. Oh my God. And the 2 stars, Margaret Qualley, and I can't remember what was her name? Geraldine Vishwanathan. Sorry, I'm butchering your name. I apologize. If you call me, I will personally apologize. But they were engaging and fun, and what a great odd couple that they put together. The school marm, and there's even a comment about the school marm. I mean, it was great. Totally, I watched it twice. Loved it both times.
This was the worst movie of the year. It was terrible to me. Terrible. A dumpster fire of a movie. I don't know what's going on with Ethan Coen, but the 2 recent movies he's done, poor Matt Damon is getting the worst edit. He was a racist jerk in Suburbicon. Now he's a homophobic jerk in this movie.
Congressman,
that's right.
I'm sorry.
Homophobic Republican congressman.
I mean, just
art imitating life, or art imitating life.
Oh my gosh! I hope this isn't who he really is. But this is just, I have to disagree, Pat. I thought the writing was actually like weird and like it wasn't funny. And then they had these weird, like the pizza thing that was super dumb and weird when they would have these kind of weird, like psychedelic things right in the midst of. So it was kind of like a Josie and the Pussycats episode.
Very Big Lebowski-ish, yes, exactly. The Big Lebowski had those same type of breaks in it. So
oh my gosh, perfect. It was awful. Oh my goodness. I did watch it twice because I try to give things a fair shake. But there's this sense, I don't know, but to me, there's a sense going on with some of these directors of trying to talk about minority life, but it's through the lens of the white male gaze. And so you get things like Poor Things, and you get things like the Magical American Society of Magical Negroes, and you get this movie Drive Away Dolls talking about the lesbian experience, and it was just gross. Some of that stuff going on was unappealing, and I just did not enjoy. My eyes did not enjoy, and my ears did not enjoy this movie at all. David, I would like to hear I would like to hear, if you are a lesbian out there, would you comment on what you thought Drive Away Dolls, what you thought of Drive Away Dolls? I would like to hear from the community about this movie, but I will let David hop in there, David, and tell us what you think.
As someone who in no way represents that community at all, through my gaze of the show, speaking of that gaze, I'm kind of in the middle of the two of you. I thought I liked the road trip. I like that. And I thought the buddies worked with that. I thought they had good chemistry. There's the head, and there's the rest of what is going on with in that. I don't know if that was the spoiler. And then with the case, I think Matt Damon probably would say, I don't have a little part in this. Ha ha ha. But I'm more in the middle of the road. I do.
Okay, but why all of those things in the case? Because he was talking about the different people, but it didn't make sense for that person to have cast of the different types of people. It didn't make no sense. Anyway, I'm sorry, David. Go ahead. That's just really didn't make sense to me.
I think that there's a crowd of elites, and they hang out, and you might not think they have anything in common. Then they go to get together, and they do something wild and crazy with their scanning machines. I don't know. I'm more the middle of the road. Again, I like the chemistry between the leads. I thought that was good. I thought the writing was kind of snappy in the dialogue and such. Not my favorite movie, but with everything that I am contractually obligated to watch with Pajama Life, I got my caffeine and I plowed through. No pun intended there. So it's another story that I will say it was fine. I probably put it out of a 7 out of 10. I don't think it's the worst.
Are you serious?
I would have went
7
an 8.
out of 10 is like
8.
excellent. Oh my God.
I don't know. I have a pretty high.
It's like a 3.
I don't think it's the worst thing that we've watched. I don't think it's the worst thing.
I would say it was a solid B. Solid B. Like, and the only reason it got downgraded on me is because it was kind of a recycled storyline, and there were a few loose ends. But I thought that the dialogue just saved so much. The chemistry they had between the two of them was delightful, and the weird situations. Perfect.
One thing that really put me off from the beginning was the main character's accent. That was just so over the top. I was like, I don't know anybody from Texas. I have family from Texas who speaks like that. I was like, is she kind of doing an Elvis kind of thing? It was just like she was doing like an Elvis thing. And
she was doing a Miley Cyrus, who was actually
in
one of the little vignettes between the things.
No.
Well, I will say this. People who are not from the South do a really bad job of accents. You can't, I think it must be in some respects an easier accent of American diction to portray, or so they think. But I've spent a lot of time in the South, and when I get angry, I really talk Southern. And that's very distinct, but I've seen a lot of actors from England and other places. They can't. They think they can, and they can't, and it is really bad. That could have been better.
Yeah, that drove me nuts.
Her mother is Andy McDowell, who had to have her voice dubbed over in St. Elmo's Fire because she had too much of a Southern accent.
Yeah. But she's also not a great
Andy
actor.
McDowell's daughter?
Yes, it is.
Oh, well.
And you can look at it.
You should have taken her to more acting lessons. That's for sure.
Look at it. I mean, look at it again, and then
please, baby, don't do this movie until you've had a few more classes with the Lee Strasberg Institute. No, baby.
She was great. She was awesome. She was one of the best things. Her and the interplay between the two of them, perfect.
Boo. It gets a boo.
Damn the hater.
But needless to say, ladies and gentlemen, you've seen that we always come to a pleasant and cordial consensus on Pajama Life. One of us is always in the middle.
I'm thinking. I think in our little arrangement, I think Dave should definitely start moving to the middle because he seems to be the bridge between the two usually opposing viewpoints here. I'm just saying.
No, I'm in the middle because I'm the girl, and that's just
he's the center square. He's the center square. Richard Dawson, Whoopi, whoever gets that center
all
square.
In, yeah, there
that's
you go.
Right. I'm in the center square. And speaking of for our pride, the center square was all in. God rest his soul. And speaking of another person who will be missed, Pat Sajak retired after 41 years on the Great Wheel of Fortune, and his successor will be the man with 50 jobs, Ryan Seacrest. So, good luck to Pat Sajak. And that will conclude our show this week. Next week, it's back. After 2 years? The boys will be back. And the next drop of Bridgerton. I'm so excited to see how it turns out. I'm gonna have to do a book and movie review of that. Romancing Mr. Bridgerton by Julia Quinn is what this one is loosely based on. And we'll continue each week with The Acolyte. David, how's your week? Say goodnight to the people.
Everybody, I wish you well. Get ready to watch The Acolyte Tuesday nights. I'm excited, despite my less than stellar critique of the first 2 episodes. Hope you have a great week and enjoy this month.
Patrick, wrap it up with us.
Everybody get out there, and like I always tell you, keep going to your movies, because that's how you get movies to these streaming services. Occasionally, make a trip to your local theater, because that's where they make their money. So get out, enjoy movies, have some popcorn.
And get out and celebrate this month with the LGBTQ community. And happy Pride to all of our friends out there. And we'll see you next time on PGM Life. Take care. Bye.